Now, there's really no need for no introduction and none of that. I'm gonna jump right into it. Was Nipsey Hussle's death a conspiracy, or was he actually killed in that manner? Now, for most people that were totally unaware of Nipsey Hussle and his situation and the way that he lived his life, it'll just come as a shock that half of these things that seem like theories could even possibly be true. But that's one thing about knowledge. When you don't have any knowledge on something, you just move off of emotion. Cut your emotion for a second. Pay attention to the facts. Because what I'm about to hit y'all with is pure facts. I don't care how people feel about Laura London. I don't care about what people want to believe. Because you can want to believe something, but if the facts say something else, then that's what it is. And I've been doing my own research, and I come across some clues that just stand out too prominent. Too prominent. It's not a needle in a haystack. It's 1,000 needles in a haystack. And like I said, I'm not here to disdain anyone's emotions toward the situation, because I cared as much about Nipsey Hussle as the next person. Although I did not know that man personally, I respect what he did for the society. I respect what he was to us as a pillar to the whole society, to the whole world, as far as the people that knew him. Even if they did not know him, eventually you would have come to know him for the things that he was being recognized for. But like I said, let's jump right into it. I'm pretty sure most of you believe that Nipsey Hussle was just killed in such a simple manner by this guy named Eric Holder, right? Shitty cuz, right? But when you actually take the time to surface the facts around that whole situation, and not just what the media is pushing, because one thing about the media is the media gets paid to twist stories. The media gets paid to tell you half, not even half, 10% of the truth. Yeah, the truth is he got killed. He was killed. But the other 90% is he wasn't killed under the circumstances in which they're perpetuating to the public. Now, I'm going to hit y'all with straight facts. I'm going to hit y'all with about 9 random facts. And I'm going to leave it up to y'all to believe what y'all want to believe after this. You could totally disregard what I'm saying, or you can accept it for what it's worth. And you can begin to question things yourself, not only on this situation, but everything that the media has perpetuated to you from day one. Start to look into it. Come across, be your own detective. Find these things out. Because we live in a society that is fixed on lies. If they can stand on a lie as deep as slavery, when we all know our ancestors have been there, and they even disregard that, what makes you think the things that you are witnessing now, they're going to tell you the truth about? Fact 1. Laura London, keep in mind, in 2006, was her debut into entertainment. Now, whether you guys believe it or not, when entering that industry, you have to sign contracts. The same way when you get a job, you have to have an interview. You have to fill out W-2s. You have to become a part of the working society. The same way when you become a cop, you have to take an oath, put your hand on a book. The same way when you sit up on a stand to the judge, you have to take an oath. What makes you think when someone is about to put millions of dollars in your account, in your pocket, and keep you with jobs, that you're not going to have to take a certain oath? When she signed her contract in 2006, as we all know, and if you don't know by now, you have to make sacrifices. Whether that sacrifice was going to come then or later down the line, you eventually have to make a sacrifice. Now, keep in mind, before Laura London even got that part for ATL, she was only scripted in 2 irrelevant parts throughout her whole life. She was an extra on the show Everybody Hates Chris. She was an extra in Pharrell's video. If you guys all remember Pharrell's old video with Jay-Z, she was an extra in it, and she had 2 girls with her. So when she took that oath to sign that contract in 2006 to be a part of the movie ATL, that was her enlightenment into her new career. Now, the day Nipsey Hussle died, the exact day he died, marked the 13-year anniversary of her entering the entertainment industry, signing that contract. 13-year anniversary. Now, I'm going to tell you why that number 13 is so substantial in this situation. Because within the occult society, the number 13 represents rebellion. Think of how many movies you've ever seen that has the number 13 within the title. The directors, the higher anarchy that perpetuates these movies, that have these movies made, that put these out in the media, that promotes these, they know it, which is why they perpetuate that number so often. Even down to your favorite artist, Queen B. Why do you think she calls herself, even though her name is Beyonce, why do you think she really calls herself Queen B? Because when you dissect 13 or add it, what is it? A B. When you take it apart, what is it? A 13. So, like I said, keep in mind the number 13 and how symbolic it is within the occult societies. As I said, the day he died marked the 13-year anniversary of her entering the entertainment industry, signing a contract to do the movie ATL. 13, that number represents the snake, the dragon, Satan, the murderer, and the manifestation of evil. Okay, so we're going to just slide that out the way. If you want to discredit that. Fine. He died at the age 33, right? Within the Masonic world, whether you're a Mason as a guy or Eastern Star as a female, the number 33 is the highest level of consciousness that you can attain as a human being within the Masonic world, which is why they said Jesus died at 33. Because one thing about the Masons, they follow scripture, but they do everything opposite. That's what the devil does. He does everything opposite of what you know. So if God tells you to go right, he's telling you to go left. God tells you look up, he's telling you look down. So let's get that out the way, right? In the last photo shoot that they've done, right? I don't know if you guys are all aware of this. I'm pretty sure you guys seen these photos. The photos that are all over the net of her and Nippsey Hussle standing next to a white horse. She's sitting on the horse. They're in the middle of a street. That was a GQ photo shoot. That was the last photo shoot they done before he died. Every pose, every color, every action taken amongst those pictures, were references that she made for those pictures to be made that way. I'm pretty sure Nipsey Hussle was aware of the secret society, but he disregarded everything they were about. He was an independent artist. She'd already signed her contract 13 years ago. That 13-year date was coming up the day that he got killed. I know you guys are saying, okay, she took a picture on a horse, so what? That's why, if you don't understand what these symbolisms mean, you'll disregard everything and just write it off as fuckery. It's far from fuckery. These are articulated plans by the secret societies, and they're throwing them right in your face. But like I said, if you don't know about it, you'll disregard it. The white horse is a representation of death. As I said again, the white horse is the representation of death. Let me read something for you guys right here. In Revelations. And behold, an ashen horse. Ashen is another color for white. And he who sat on it had the name Death. And Hades was following with him. Hades is the underworld. Authority was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with the sword, with famine, and with pestilence, and by the wild beasts of the earth. He who sat upon that horse was given the name Death, and the sword to kill. To kill. The authority was given by the beasts of the earth. Who are the beasts of the earth? The very society, this very secret society that you guys all disregard. Those are the wild beasts of the earth, who'd given her authority to kill. Okay. You guys want to disregard that? Go ahead, disregard it. Fact 5. Nipsey Hussle died at age 33, as I said. He was pronounced dead at 3:20. He was shot 6 times. He died at 33. 3 plus 3, 6. He was pronounced dead at 3:20. 3 times 2, 6. He was shot 6 times. Okay, what do we get? 6, 6, 6. What is that? The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast. What's the mark of the beast? The mark of Lucifer. The mark of Lucy. The mark of evil. Y'all following me right now? Are y'all keeping up with me? Because like I said, these are pure facts. These are pure facts. This is not my imagination running wild. I couldn't even think these things and come up with them if I wanted to. These are pure facts. Do your own research, do your own studies. In a recent photo shoot, in that same recent photo shoot, that Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London had taken part with GQ. In a photo, right, she's seen holding a bouquet of flowers upside down. Okay, people are probably saying, so what's the big deal? She was holding a bouquet of flowers upside down. For one, common sense, whenever you ever seen someone take a picture holding a bouquet of flowers upside down? Purposely. Purposely. What does a flower represent? Life. Blossom. When you hold a bouquet of flowers upside down, it is representing just the opposite. The ending of something. Death. Destruction. No more happiness. Again, are you guys following me? You guys can look these pictures up yourself. Go to the GQ photo shoot. Look everything up that I'm saying. Don't just take me for my word. Look everything up that I am speaking of. Now, fact 7. Nipsey Hussle was killed on a Sunday, March 31st. That was a Sunday. Why is this substantial? Because in the occult world, as I said, they follow the structure of the Bible. They follow the structure of the Egyptians. Sunday is represented as the sun god, the day of worship. The day of sacrifice. In Egypt, the sun god was the great enlightener of the whole physical world. What was Nipsey Hussle? Was he not an enlightener of this very physical world that we are living in right now? So you think it's ironic that he died on a Sunday? Hold on. Not only was he the great enlightener of the physical world, but he gave knowledge of both evil and good. Did he not give knowledge of both evil and good? Did he not? Okay. Here's where things get a little deeper. For those of you who are totally unaware of Egyptian mythology and the certain gods and goddesses that were, how could I say, in charge of the underworld. We all know who Nimrod was. Nimrod was the rebellion. Nimrod was the one who built the Tower of Babylon. Babylon, who helped him build the Tower of Babylon? Lucifer. Because he rebelled against God's word. Lucifer helped Nimrod build that. Tell you why that's important. Because in that photo shoot, in that very same photo shoot, where Lauren London is seen on a horse, on that very same horse, and Nipsey Hussle is standing in front of the horse. That is a duality picture of the star god Ishtar. Ishtar. Now, if none of you know who Ishtar is the goddess of destruction, the goddess of suspicion, the goddess of sex, the goddess of fertility. the goddess of death. That is why Easter is considered a pagan holiday, because Easter came from Ishtar, which is why Easter lands on Sunday. Easter lands on Sunday, the day of sacrifice. And it came from the goddess Ishtar. I don't really think y'all following me. And if y'all are following me, then it should be making sense to y'all by now. I mean, this is so crazy. As I said, it's a lot deeper than what you guys' mindset sometimes can perpetuate. When you allow media to distract you with certain thoughts and make it so simple and simplify it down to something that can't even make sense, but you made sense of it anyway because you allowed them to tell you that, then you fall victim to someone else's word. That's like getting in the car with someone that's telling you they're going to take you somewhere and you don't know them, but you trust they're going to take you there. And even after passing the first 10 signs that should already let you know you're probably not headed to the place where they're telling you, you still sit in that car comfortably. Because you don't want to take it upon yourself to look for directions and tell them to let you out this car. That's what a lot of you are doing right now. Let me hit y'all with one last fact. How many of you heard of Virgin Mobile? I'm pretty sure all of you heard of Virgin Mobile. Have you ever heard of Virgin Money? Virgin Money is a private banking branch in the United Kingdom owned by Richard Branson, a $4.2 billion man. A $4.2 billion man. Richard Branson sponsors certain companies within America. Richard Branson has ties to Laura London's Jewish father. Richard Branson sponsors something called the London Marathon. I'm going to say this again. Richard Branson sponsors something called the London Marathon. Oh, you think it's ironic that Nippsey Hussle's store is named Marathon? Nippsey Hussle was killed, and his wife, quote unquote, wife, what she said, but on his death certificate it says he's not married. Laura London. And at the funeral, she gave a speech saying the marathon will continue. Yeah, you know why? Because his marathon has now become London's marathon. London's marathon. Keep in mind, the United Kingdom is where the whole secret society started. That is where it started. Her father, being Jewish, as I said, has ties to Richard Branson. This was all perpetuated. This was all planned. This death was a ceremonial for ceremonial purposes. That's all. That is all. And you know, some of you guys could narrow it down to simplified thoughts. Oh, but she loved him. Listen, in this industry, you don't have love for people. It's not about love. It's about greed. I don't care what you see in a picture. I don't care what you read in a tabloid. Why do you think in 2018, when Atlantic Records came to Nippsey Hussle for him to sign a contract, he broke it off with Lauren London. Why do you think so? This was a random breakup. Because he was aware of the situation that he would eventually fall into. He was aware that if he signed that contract, that he would eventually have to have blood on his hands. He didn't want to do that. So you know what he did? He broke it off with her. But little did he know, she was 20 steps ahead. She'd already been planning her ceremony since the day she came in that industry. And as I said, the day he died marked the 13-year anniversary of her signing that contract to enter the entertainment business. Let me tell y'all something, man. In this world that we live in, if you're trying to be a rapper, if you're trying to be a singer, if you're trying to be a designer, if you're trying to be a businessman, if you're trying to be a chef, if you're trying to be a TV producer, if you're trying to be a dancer, whatever you're trying to be, if you have plans on signing some kind of contract within that industry, you will eventually run into two things: sacrificing yourself or sacrificing someone else. There is no way you will sit at their table if you don't have either of those. There is no way. Why do you think a lot of these celebrities have a lot of close people that died to them? A lot of close people that died right next to them. Out of nowhere, weird circumstances. T.I.'s sister died last year at age 66. At age 66 from a car crash. Something within her car immediately disabled and she ran into a tree. Had an asthma attack, was in a hospital and died in a hospital. Prodigy, when he'd already signed the contract. But see, one thing about these people, when you sign contracts and you go against the grain and you begin to backslide, they look at you as a traitor and their job is to get you out of here. They say Prodigy choked on an egg in a hospital. What? You telling me a grown-ass man choked on an egg in the hospital and died? No. Prodigy was producing a play on Broadway exposing the secret society, the whole occult and the agenda. A lot of these why do you think they put DMX through so much? Because DMX speaks out a lot against them. Why do you think they always got DMX in jail? Headlining DMX being locked up. It's the people that you see that are progressively making it within the hip-hop industry that are the super puppets, that are the gatekeepers. They do whatever these higher anarchy authority figures tell them to do. They don't disregard anything. That's your Diddy's and that's your Jay-Z's, your Beyonce's, your Dr. Dre's, your Snoop Dogg's. Come on. You guys got to wake up, man. You guys got to wake up. And like I said, none of what I'm speaking is a theory. Nothing of what I'm saying is a theory. This is all facts. These guys follow ritualistic beliefs back to the ancient times in the way Babylon was built through Nimrod. Look into these occult books that they study. The only way to learn about the enemy is to study what they study and disregard it. But if you don't know what they study and you just listen to media, you don't know nothing. You got a lot to learn. As I said, man, Y'all can take what y'all want to take from this. Y'all can either accept it or disregard it. I truly don't care. But one thing I've never been is a dummy. I'm self-taught on everything that I've ever learned in my life. I have never went to college. The highest level of education I have is my high school diploma, rather than my business degree that I went to Bloomberg Law School for 4 months. But aside of all of that, as I said, the world we live in is nothing like what you see. It's nothing like what you imagine. And you guys need to wake up. Salute.